Hi, I'm Martin and today we're diving into how I upgrade the gearbox on my two-wheel drive 1983 VW T3 Transporter for better off-roading. We'll talk about different gearbox types, how differentials work, what to swap, and even show some hands-on installation and test driving. If you've ever wondered how to transform your two-wheel drive Vanagon to a semi-synchro with full rear diff, this video is for you. The Volkswagen T3 Transporter from the early 1980s came with several gearbox options. Let's go through the main types. Here's a table showing the common codes, gear ratios, and which ones have a full differential. This chart is really handy if you're planning an upgrade or just want to know what's in your van. To upgrade your T3 gearbox to a full diff setup, you need this. 1. New seals and transmission oil 80W90. Always use a GL4 oil, not GL5. 2. A diff with 4 spider gears. Many transmissions only have 2 spider gears. Mine only had 2, so I bought a stronger Weddell Racing Super Diff with 4 spider gears. 3. The T2 T3 Mini Locker Kit from Weddell. 4. Stock or stronger Porsche drive axles with new bearings and rubber booths is recommended. I began by removing the complete drivetrain since I was already planning to replace the engine with a 1.9 diesel. Once the drivetrain was out, I separated the transmission from the engine. The transmission was thoroughly cleaned using a pressure washer, and the old gear oil was drained to remove any dirt, debris, and residue. With the transmission clean and drained, the actual work could begin. First, I removed the throwout bearing and the mainshaft seal. After that, the bolts securing the bell housing, flywheel housing, were removed, allowing the housing to be separated from the transmission. With the bell housing removed, the differential is now accessible. Next, the drive flanges were removed, followed by the lock rings and the aluminum differential adjusting rings. A special tool is required to remove these adjusting rings, but it is possible to fabricate a suitable tool using scrap metal and a welder. Once the adjusting rings were removed, the differential could be taken out of the transmission. The differential was then disassembled by removing the bolts and opening the carrier. At this point, the Super Diff and Mini Locker Kit were installed. Installation was done strictly according to the instructions provided with the kit. This includes installing the internal springs that cause the differential to fully lock 100% engagement at about 4,000 RPM. If this is your first time working inside a transmission, I strongly recommend having an experienced engine and transmission rebuilder perform this step. Any mistake here can easily result in severe transmission damage or complete failure. After installing the new differential components, everything was reassembled in reverse order. Special care was taken to correctly set the differential preload using the aluminum adjusting rings, as proper tension is critical for longevity and correct operation. Once fully assembled, all components were double-checked, and the transmission was filled with fresh GL 4-gear oil. With that completed, the transmission was ready for reinstallation and testing. I took the opportunity to clean it thoroughly, sand it down, and repaint it. This was mainly done to protect the magnesium case from corrosion and aging. At the same time, all gaskets were replaced, the gear selector mechanism was renewed, and a new starter motor was installed. Next up, the transmission was bolted to the freshly rebuilt engine, and the complete drivetrain was installed back into the van. Since everything was already apart, I also replaced the engine mounts and bushings. Then it was time for the moment of truth, test drive. I also picked up a set of off-road tires with an aggressive tread pattern for improved traction in mud and snow. A differential allows the wheels to spin at different speeds when turning. In short, it helps with cornering and traction. A full diff, or LSD limited slip differential, improves power transfer to both wheels, especially useful on slippery roads or off-road. Let's see the pros and cons. In this case, we talk a full diff setup, or a mechanical/RPM engaged diff. Pros: better traction in snow and mud, better for off-road or gravel/backroads driving. Cons: more expensive, more maintenance, heavier cornering. Not the best option if you drive much in city. Here is the power transferred to both wheels, pushing the van out of the deep snow. With snow chains, this two-wheel drive Vanagon is like a tank. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate your support, whether that's leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, or donating through Buy Me a Coffee website. Links in description. Keep on patrolling. See you soon.